Have you ever stood up from your favorite chair and felt that dull, nagging ache in your legs? Like your muscles had suddenly aged 10 years overnight. Maybe it's your knees that hurt when you go down the stairs. Or perhaps it's that heavy, tired feeling in your calves after just a short walk to the mailbox. If any of that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. And no, it's not just getting older. There's always a reason behind pain, and there's almost always something we can do to ease it. I remember Mr. Harris, a retired school principal in his early 70s. One afternoon, he said to me, "I used to walk a mile every day without thinking. Now, my legs give out halfway through, and I feel like I've run a marathon." He thought maybe it was just aging or a bit of arthritis, but as we talked more, it became clear his leg pain was not just one thing. It was a combination of issues that had crept in over time, and many of them could be improved with small, simple changes. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. In this video, we're going to explore the real reasons why leg pain is so common after 60, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. We'll look at the hidden causes that often go unnoticed, and I'll share a few gentle, practical solutions you can start using right away to feel stronger, more comfortable, and more confident in your own body again. If you want to walk with less pain and feel more in control of your body, comment 1 below, or comment 2 if you feel frustrated or scared watching your legs get weaker without knowing what to do. This helps us understand what you need so we can share more that truly helps. Now, let's start with one of the biggest and most overlooked causes: poor circulation. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less flexible. The heart keeps pumping, but the blood doesn't flow as easily to the lower parts of the body. This can lead to that aching, cramping, or heavy feeling in the legs, especially when walking. Some people feel a tightness in their calves that eases when they sit down. That's your body saying, "We're not getting enough oxygen down here." Now, you don't need to panic. You don't even need a gym membership. Gentle movement can make a big difference. Walking around the house, doing ankle rolls, while sitting or flexing and pointing your toes. These tiny things get your blood moving and help your legs feel more alive again. The second big cause is something many people haven't heard of: sarcopenia. That's just a fancy word for muscle loss, and it begins earlier than you might think. Often in your 50s, if you're not doing anything to maintain muscle, it quietly slips away. We lose strength, balance, and endurance. The legs get tired more quickly, and pain follows. But it's not hopeless. Your muscles still respond, even in your 70s or 80s. One of my favorite stories is about Helen, a 78-year-old who began doing small strength exercises in her kitchen, standing up and sitting down from a chair, lifting soup cans, or rising on her toes while brushing her teeth. After just a few weeks, she told me she could walk longer without stopping, and her legs didn't ache as much by the end of the day. Now, let's talk about hydration. It might surprise you, but not drinking enough water can actually lead to leg cramps and aching muscles. Muscles need fluid to contract and relax smoothly. When we're low on fluids, especially in the evening, cramps sneak in. Try sipping water throughout the day. Even tea, broth, or water with lemon helps keep your muscles happy. These three things, circulation, muscle strength, and hydration, are just the beginning. But there's another silent trigger for leg pain that could be hiding right in your own kitchen, and that's inflammation. Now, inflammation sounds like a big scary word, but it's actually something our body does to protect us. When you get a cut, for example, inflammation helps the area heal. But over time, especially as we get older, the body can stay in a state of low-grade chronic inflammation. And that kind of inflammation can wreak havoc on your joints, muscles, and nerves, especially in your legs. Think of it like a small fire that never fully goes out. It just keeps burning in the background, wearing down your body, making your knees feel stiff in the morning, or your ankles ache after standing too long. And here's the surprising part. One of the biggest sources of this chronic inflammation is the food we eat. I had a lovely woman named Dolores, 69 years old, who used to come in complaining of swelling and discomfort in her legs. She'd been taking pain relievers, but the relief never lasted. When we looked closer at her diet, we found she was having processed meats for breakfast, sugary snacks mid-morning, and a lot of white bread. Once she started swapping those out for anti-inflammatory foods, like leafy greens, berries, olive oil, and salmon, she called me a few weeks later and said, "Doc, I don't know what kind of magic this is, but my legs feel lighter. I even danced in the kitchen yesterday." Now, it doesn't mean you can never enjoy a treat again, but small changes in your diet, choosing whole grains instead of white bread, adding a handful of blueberries to your breakfast, or using turmeric and garlic in your cooking can start to put out that internal fire. Over time, your joints and muscles may start to feel more relaxed, more mobile, and less achy. Let's talk about one more sneaky cause of leg pain: nerve issues. These can feel different from muscle soreness or joint stiffness. Instead, nerve-related pain often shows up as tingling, burning, or sharp, shooting sensations, especially in the feet or lower legs. Sometimes it feels like pins and needles, or like you're walking on pebbles when you're barefoot. One of the most common causes of this in older adults is something called peripheral neuropathy, often linked to diabetes, but it can also come from vitamin deficiencies, especially B12, or even certain medications. I can't tell you how many people suffer in silence, thinking this kind of pain is normal, but it's not. And it doesn't have to stay that way. If you're feeling those symptoms, it's worth asking your doctor for a simple blood test to check your vitamin levels, especially B12. And if you're on multiple medications, ask if any of them could be affecting your nerves. Sometimes adjusting your supplements or switching medications can bring real relief. A patient I worked with, George, had been living with burning feet for over a year. He said it kept him up at night and made it hard to enjoy his morning walks. When we found out he had a low B12 level and started supplements, within 3 weeks, he said, "I finally slept through the night again." That brings me to one last piece of the puzzle: rest and recovery. Yes, staying active is important, but so is knowing when to rest. Many older adults push through leg pain because they think they have to. But rest isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Giving your legs time to recover after walking, elevating them in the evening, or using a warm compress after activity can help reduce swelling and soothe tired muscles. I often recommend what I call active rest, gentle stretching while lying down, using a heating pad, or massaging the calves with a bit of lotion. Not only does it feel good, but it also helps move fluid out of the tissues and keeps your legs from feeling stiff the next day. By now, you might be realizing that leg pain isn't caused by just one thing. It's usually a combination. And that means the solution isn't just one thing either. But the good news is, every small step you take can add up to big relief over time. There's still one more important reason many seniors struggle with leg pain. And it's something that often goes unspoken. Not because it's rare, but because it's misunderstood. I'm talking about emotional stress. Yes, stress can quite literally settle into your body. And for many people, it chooses the legs. It might sound surprising, but think about it. Your legs carry you through the world. They're what you rely on to get out of bed, to cook a meal, to go for a walk, to show up for the life you want to live. And when stress builds, from loneliness, from worry, from feeling like life has slowed down too much, your body holds that tension. Muscles tighten, blood vessels constrict, inflammation increases, and pain starts to take root where the body feels most burdened. I remember Margaret, a gentle soul who had lost her husband 2 years prior. She came into my office saying, "My legs just feel heavy all the time." We went through every physical test, and while there were minor circulation issues, what stood out more was her grief. She wasn't moving much anymore, wasn't seeing friends, wasn't sleeping well. Her body had become a reflection of her sorrow. Now, I'm not saying pain is all in your head. Far from it. But the mind and body are deeply connected. And when emotional pain builds up, physical pain often isn't far behind. That's why one of the most powerful remedies for leg discomfort, especially when no clear medical cause is found, is connection. Movement with purpose. Even joy. For Margaret, that meant joining a local senior walk-in group. She started with just 10 minutes once a week, and slowly, as the weeks passed, her steps grew lighter. Her voice got stronger. One day she told me, "I think my legs missed having somewhere to go." Another emotional layer that adds to leg pain is fear. Fear of falling, of not being able to keep up, of becoming dependent. That fear can make you freeze, move less, and sit more, which only makes the legs stiffer and weaker. It's a cycle I see all the time. But the only way to break it is with courage. Not the kind that runs marathons, but the kind that takes one brave step into the hallway, then another into the backyard. Even doing gentle yoga in your living room or stretching to your favorite song can begin to restore a sense of control. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. There's also something else I always ask patients about when they mention leg pain. Their shoes. It seems too simple, but it makes a world of difference. Over time, the padding in our shoes wears down, and the support they offer disappears. Even house slippers or old sneakers can throw off your posture, causing pain in the knees, hips, and even your lower back, all of which affect how your legs feel. One gentleman I worked with, Luis, had been wearing the same pair of walking shoes for nearly 4 years. When he finally replaced them with a pair that had proper arch support and cushioning, he came back a week later and said, I didn't realize how much my shoes were working against me. It's a small change, but one that can ease strain on the entire body. And let's not forget posture. Many older adults unknowingly shift their weight forward when standing or walking. That puts more pressure on the knees and shins, which can lead to pain, especially if the muscles are already tight or weak. A small adjustment, like standing taller, engaging the core, and looking forward rather than down, can relieve that pressure and help you move with more ease. Sometimes I recommend standing against a wall, heels, shoulders, and head all touching, and then stepping away, keeping that posture for a few minutes at a time. It helps retrain the body to stand in alignment. Even this can start to lift some of the burden off tired legs. The most important message I can share is this: your legs are trying to tell you something. They are not failing you. They are asking for care. Whether it's better blood flow, more strength, hydration, emotional release, or even just a better pair of shoes, they are asking to be noticed. And when we begin to listen, really listen, healing begins in ways we don't expect. Your feet have carried you through decades of life, birthdays, weddings, work days, vacations, and those peaceful Sunday walks in the park. They've been there for you every day, even now, when they start to ache or slow you down. And if they could speak, I think they'd say, "We've done a lot. Now we just need a little more care." What we've talked about today isn't about chasing youth or turning back the clock. It's about listening to your body with compassion. That heaviness, the soreness, the tightness in your legs or feet, they're not just nuisances. They're signs. And when we start responding with gentleness and a little consistency, those signs begin to quiet down. Maybe your body's asking for better circulation. Try ankle rolls in bed before standing up, or take a slow walk through the hallway every couple of hours. These small movements can help bring warmth and energy back into your legs. Or maybe your strength just needs a little rebuilding. Standing up from a chair a few times, holding onto the kitchen counter, and doing toe lifts, even balancing for a few seconds on one foot. These are gentle ways to remind your muscles they're still needed and still capable. It could be hydration, too. Many people overlook how much muscles depend on water. Sip throughout the day. Enjoy a cup of warm herbal tea in the evening. It may seem small, but your muscles and nerves will thank you for it, especially when cramps or tightness are part of the picture. If inflammation has crept in, it might be linked to some of the foods we reach for out of habit. There's no need to give up every indulgence, but adding healing foods like berries, leafy greens, olive oil, and turmeric can calm the body in ways you'll feel right down to your toes. There's also the emotional side of things, the kind of pain that doesn't always show up in test results. Maybe you've lost someone, or maybe it's the quiet that's grown a little too loud. That kind of heaviness settles into the legs, into the feet, making each step feel harder than it should. But healing begins when you take that first step, when you talk to someone, when you move to music, even for just a minute. Because movement isn't just about flexibility, it's about feeling alive again. And if what you're experiencing feels more like burning, tingling, or numbness, don't ignore it. That could be a sign of nerve issues, often connected to things like low vitamin B12. or side effects from medications. A simple test or adjustment can bring surprising relief. Even your shoes can make or break your comfort. Many of us hold on to pairs long after they've stopped supporting us. But a good shoe, with the right support and cushioning, can turn a painful walk into a peaceful one. It's a small upgrade that can change how your entire body feels by the end of the day. I know it can be discouraging at times. When your feet or legs ache, it's easy to feel like your independence is slipping away. But I want you to hear this. Foot pain is not the end of your freedom. It's your body asking for attention, for support, for healing, and you're not facing it alone. If this message touched you, please share your experience in the comments. What's helped you? What are you still struggling with? You never know who needs to hear your words today. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing. We're here every week, creating a space of encouragement and real advice for people just like you who want to live fully, one step at a time. So take a breath, stretch a little, smile at the strength that's still inside you, and remember, your journey isn't over. It's still unfolding, one stronger, more comfortable step at a time.